up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Nobody Asked Us with Des and Kara, presented by Brooks Running. That means Chris is out of the office and Des is in
Chris
charge.
is out of town.
I accidentally deleted a lot of options off there one time. I'm really sad about that. Chris, probably not so much. How's it going, Kara? Welcome to another episode.
Des, you and I are hanging in by a thread. There's one more
Yes.
night of action tonight here in Tokyo, Japan, and then we both fly home.
Good
And
stuff.
although we have loved our Japanese food and the people and the culture and the track, we are both ready to go home.
Absolutely.
Ready.
It's what a fun place to do this. What a great city.
Mhm.
Culture's awesome. The stadium's been amazing. The race is phenomenal, but man, I am done. And I'm like doing a quarter of what you're doing. So,
Well, the
yeah,
difference
some
is you're trying
challenges.
to be a professional athlete while also doing appearances, while also recording the pod, while also taking a track action. I'm just trying to be a professional broadcaster. I'm
You're
like walk
crushing it.
jogging my dystonia is so
Oh,
bad. I have
no.
fallen twice walking home from the stadium. I'm sure people think I'm drunk. I haven't had a sip of alcohol since I got drunk on the plane on the way here.
Nice. That was a great story. We might have to go into that sometime.
Definitely drinking tonight. But I'm stone cold sober this whole time. My dystonia is so bad. And I think it's just like where I can run from the hotel is a loop, but it's like you're
Mhm.
constantly turning. So that's not great for me. And
Yeah.
then I think like this job requires me to use my brain.
Which is good.
And I'm using
Well
my brain
tapped out,
so
though.
much. And like my dystonia is so bad. I wake up and the first thing I do is I try to run for 3 miles. Sometimes I end up walking most of it. And then I have breakfast and then I study or meet up with you or whatever it is. And then at night, like I have a heart, like I can feel it walking into the stadium. But when I walk back, it is bad. And
Ooh.
it's like I'm tripping all over the place, and I'm like, it's not even a half mile from the exit of the stadium to my hotel. And last night, but it's so hard,
Oh,
so hard. And I'm
brutal.
sure everyone around me is like, "Oh, that girl, she's just been rocking it out in the stadium." And I'm like, "No." Anyway, my running has been pathetic here, so I wasn't trying to do what you've been doing. So
Well, it's different tasks, different, I don't know, I just feel like it's different schedules and it's both very fatiguing.
yeah,
I've been I feel like I have, like, the biggest track fan regret ever, because last night I watched the relays and we got to the stadium really early and I was like, I've been trying to leave before the last event so that I can actually watch it, but not have to wait in cab lines and, like, everyone leaving the stadium. So, it was like, I'm gonna go watch the 5 and the 8 at the hotel. Like, I wanna watch them. I don't like watching sports with other people anyways, and so I, like, got in the car and got back to watch the 5s, and then the 8s were, like, just fucking magic, and I'm like, "I'm the worst fan ever because I left, but I also, was up at 5 this morning and also got in a good run, so,
right,
like, it's
right.
balancing being a fan, but also, like, I am training, and it's not as significant as it used to be, but, like, it still matters.
Of course it matters.
So,
And it's different. You're like
it's
having to
hard.
go for time on feet. It's funny because that's one thing that I'm so lucky. Like, I'm across the street from the stadium, so I don't have to worry about a cab line. I just have to, when I get back to my hotel, there is a queue line to wait to get onto the elevator. And
Yeah.
everyone's so polite
Even
here. They
that's,
just put
like
like 3 or 4 in an elevator. And I'm like, no, just get in there. Let's
smash
just
in
pack in
there.
there.
Yeah. You've
Like,
been to the subway.
yeah, come on, guys. It's going to take forever.
Yeah.
Um, But yeah, it's so nice to just be able to walk out and walk back. And it's kind of funny where I walk back, I pass a lot of athletes that are coming out. So I saw Josh Kerr the night after his race. I've seen Bryce Hoppel coming out, Sinclair Johnson. Last night I saw Talia Brooks, who won a bronze medal in the
Mhm.
HEP. So it's kind of fun to see some of the
Yeah.
athletes coming out.
Seeing the vibes.
But last night I was like, congratulations to Leah, all this stuff. And then she was like, thank you. And then like literally 2 seconds later, I bit it. But she didn't see me because she
Oh, you
she
rounded the
kept.
corner.
But yeah, that's one thing, like, you have to, like, trek into the stadium too. I have to be there really early, but
Yeah.
I just
No, like,
I just take the
crowds.
elevator down and walk over, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, this is significantly easier than Paris. Like, that commute was bananas, and I don't think it would be as problematic if it weren't so damn hot, because you
Yeah,
could get back and run, at a reasonable time in the morning, but it's
right,
ridiculously hot, so I'm like, "I'm just gonna go early," and then also there's a lot of foot traffic and traffic, but,
right.
like, avoiding the crowds is kind of important, so, like, the earlier I can go, the better.
What has your
Um
sleep schedule been like here? Like for me, I get off there at 10:30. Usually I have to stay till like 11 or so cuz just in case like there's something we want to talk about or let's settle, like do we want to do a recap YouTube show, which we haven't done yet, but a lot of the rest of the team
Mm.
has. Get back to my hotel a little after 11. I talk to the boys cuz they're driving to school. I take like my
Nice.
eighth shower of the day. And then
Nice.
I try to calm down and fall asleep, sometime between like 12 and 1. And then I usually get up between 7 and 7:30, do a little run, hit breakfast, study, either meet you to do pods or study.
Mhm.
And then I've gotten into this routine of taking like a 45 to an hour nap where I'm like out, like drool out.
Yeah. Yeah, like, done.
and then and then 15 minutes before whatever time our Teams call is, which is 4 hours before we're on air. So for instance, tonight it's at 3:30. So I'll have an alarm set for 3:15. I wake up, my alarm wakes me up and it's like my face is wet,
Yeah.
there's drool.
Go, "Where
And
am I?"
I have like a espresso coffee drink cold and I
Yeah.
just shake it and chug it right before the call. Like my body is so messed up. And I'm slamming these ketones with caffeine right before we go on air. Like
100%.
my body is just like, what the hell is happening? It gets like a pretty good chunk of sleep at night, like 5 to 6 hours. I did get
Okay.
7 hours the other night. And then it gets
Nice.
like this one really hardcore deep hour in the
Yeah.
day.
Yeah. No, that's good. I mean, I think you have to find it, and, like, everyone has their system. I feel like you have a more like, a schedule.
Yeah.
It sounds like a routine almost, like you've developed a routine. Mine's been, like, kind of all over because I'm trying to watch track and go to the track, and, like, we have tickets, and I feel like I need to use it. Like, the first couple nights, I was just like, "I'm not gonna go for prelims." Like, a lot of these events, I can go for the final. So I would fall asleep at, like, 7 and then get up and watch, like, the event really quickly and then go back to bed. But I've been up at, like, anywhere from 2 to 4,
Mm.
and yeah, and then I go for my run, do whatever we do, pod if that's what we're doing, um, and then try and get a little nap in, but that hasn't been happening. And yeah, so a lot of ketones. The ketones have been helping a lot. Um, and then there's, like, the night that everyone's like, "You gotta go to the track." It's the 1,500 final, and then there's, like, events afterwards, and you don't see these people all the time. It is part of the job to, like, chat with everyone, mix it up. I don't consider it part of the job, but it's like you're here
Yeah,
and
it is.
everyone from Brooks is here, and, um, so you're doing that, and then the next thing you know, you're getting home at 2 in the morning, get up at run at 4.
Ugh.
So I feel like that one caught up to me, like, 2 days ago, and I just, like, didn't do anything. I slept, like, all day.
Yeah. Well, that's what
Um,
happened the night
yeah,
of the 15 final, right? There's like a
yeah,
lot of Brooke stuff afterwards. And
right.
then you and I had that live pod at 9
9.
and everyone there looked terrible, but you had gotten up and run like 9 or 10 miles, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I was like, "I'll go for 4," and then I felt pretty good, and I was like, "Cool, I'm gonna get the 10 in." Like, today I got in, I think, 13, so it's happening. We're getting good
Yeah.
mileage in. And then yesterday I made Garrett get up, and run with me, and we went to the fish market, and we had sushi at 7 AM.
Oh,
Um,
nice.
and I was like, "Okay, I'll take a nap," and then I just, like, wandered around all day,
Yeah.
and then they went to dinner. So, like, by the middle of the track meet, I was like, I can't."
Yeah.
So I went
Well,
home and watched it on
yesterday was
TV.
weird too because it was a long day for the track meet was long, but it was a lot of a lot of
Mhm.
decathlon, and then just so many rounds of the relays. Um,
Right.
and then it
Can you
was
hear me
like, oh, I
still?
came to life. We had the 5,000 and the 800, and then we were done. I came back and Colt had a race at 1:30, and I was like, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna stay up. Like I'm gonna stay. And I didn't have anything. Oh, I did film a quick thing afterwards because we're putting together an NBC recap show. So we filmed like a quick like what will start that show. But I was back to my hotel room at, I don't know, like 10:50 or something. And I was like, okay, I got to stay up till 1. I'm going to stay up till 1:30. So I like packed my bag. I haven't watched TV the whole time I've been here. I put something on in my computer in the background. And then at like 12:58, 1 o'clock, I was like, I can't do it. I'm sorry, son.
I love you, but
I love you and I want to think of you while you're running, but I
in my
can't. Like his
dreams, I
race
will.
last week was perfect because it was at 7:45 in the morning there, and it
Okay.
was on runner space, and
Oh,
so
nice.
I'm walking out of the stadium with it on, and I saw him at the mile marker because they like held the camera steady there, and I saw him cross the finish.
Oh, cool.
So it was like amazing. But today I
Yeah.
just woke up to a bunch of texts and pictures from people who actually went to support him, and
Yeah.
I missed it all. Yeah, I
I
couldn't
feel like
sleep.
he'll understand.
Yeah, he was fine. He was like, "It was fine. It was a good race. It's fine." I
Yeah.
mean, he's running his. They kind of decided to train through the meet, which at first I was like, "What?" But then thinking about it, it's going to be tough for them to qualify for state. They're on the bubble, and that's in
Mm.
like 5 weeks. So it actually was a good decision. They missed a long run last week because of the meet, and it was going to be 2 weeks in a row that they missed a long run. And so they did a hard long run Thursday. And at first I was like, what? No, they need to, they're running such against such good kids. But then I was like, okay, no, no, no. This is like the right
Understood.
decision. So
Yeah.
he ran awesome. He ran, I want to say like 16:36 on a
Oh, wow.
hard cross course, like in his highest mileage week ever. So he had a great day. And there
Nice.
were so many people that cheered him on. Mark and my coaches, Mark and Heather, were there. A bunch of Adam's family was there. Some of our friends went. So like he had more fans than he
Yeah.
normally
He's a little
has. So
rock star.
yeah, it was good. And now he's at
That's awesome.
homecoming. Des homecoming.
That's I can't wrap my mind around that right now. I'm sorry. When I see a photo, I'll be like,
Oh, I'll send it
that's
to
a
you as soon
man.
as we're
That's a
done.
little man."
Yeah, it's totally crazy. He's living his best life though. But anyway, it that's the kind of stuff where I'm like, the track meet has gone by. It's funny because it's like you think I've known this meet was coming. We were all talking about this last
Yeah.
night. You know it's coming. You get through USA's, you're excited about it. You get here and it's hot. You're like adjusting to the time. You're kind of tired. You're like, how am I going to get through this? And then last night we're like, wait, what? We only have 2 nights left?
Right.
Like, and it's crazy. It really, once you get in the rhythm, it goes. I always have a meltdown about halfway because I miss my family. And I had
Mhm.
my typical meltdown where I just cried to myself in my room and I'm like, what am
Oh,
I doing with my life? I'm missing out on everything. And then now I go home tomorrow. So,
right.
survived.
Yeah. I feel like this'll relatively be a good one, you know? I think that there's some like, I was thinking about Beijing. I was like, "Bless you. Good luck."
Oh, I know. I'm
Yeah. Like, I can't even use my computer. You're not gonna be able to check in. They're gonna yeah, I mean,
It's 2 years away. That's all I can think about. Is
right.
we're all like, oh yeah, next world champs, and then we're all like, oh Beijing. Like it's just a different game over there.
Yeah.
And I
Okay,
have
let's
like
not
a
think
lot
about that.
of PTSD over there
Oh,
because
yeah.
I was in a really shitty coaching position last time I was there when I was an athlete. So I might need some therapy before I go to Beijing. But Tokyo, everyone's super friendly. The stadium's
Yeah.
awesome. No PTSD here.
I don't know, maybe it's a good chance to, like, rewrite your relationship with the city. Not that you need a relationship with the city, but I don't know,
Yeah.
maybe it'll put some new feelings on it.
Yeah. I know.
Um,
Trey and I were talking about it last night because I can't remember what happened to him in Beijing, but he was a favorite and something happened to him. And so he's
yeah,
like, we are both saying we have trauma that we'll have to work through, but we got time.
you got some time.
Yeah. So we
Alright.
both take off tomorrow. I leave here at 4:45 in the afternoon, which feels cruel because I don't know what I'm going to do all morning because I'll
Mhm.
probably be up at 7 o'clock at the latest. And then my pickup is at 12:45 and I'm
Just
already
gonna be
packed
twiddling your
because I
thumbs
packed last
waiting for it.
night.
Okay, nice.
Um,
You're ready.
but the cool thing is once my flight's at 4:45 and I land at noon in Denver on Monday, which is
Nice.
awesome because
Yeah.
I get back. I should be at my house and petting my animals at like 2 o'clock. But your travel is a little bit different.
It's a little different. I signed up for this class thing that is, Sunday on the East Coast, and so I'll do it virtually at 4 in the morning. So I'll do those and then go for a run, and then, I take off at, like, 3. So
Wait,
then my
what's your
morning should
class? Do you want to
it's a
share?
like a business class.
Cool.
Yeah, I'll let you know after how it goes.
Okay. Okay.
And then Yeah, I land at like 4 maybe? I'm not even sure. Maybe 2, maybe 4, and then fly to Traverse City, which is like the irritating part 'cause you're so
Right.
close.
Because you're so close.
Yeah. You're just
Yeah.
sitting in another airport. It's okay. It'll be fine. But then when I'm home, I'm home. Like, we're
Yeah.
good. Yeah.
So do you think that is the Brooks contingent going to go out for one last hurrah tonight?
It's really trimmed down. So, um, I don't know. I feel like we had a really nice dinner last night, and it's like a lot of dudes right now, which is fine. I like them all, but it's like, bruh, ugh. Um, so I just, we'll see. We'll see if we can rally the bros to go out. And well, I bet you what we'll do is go grab a drink before the meet, and then
Yeah.
afterwards. I don't think anyone has the energy for a last hurrah. I
Right.
certainly don't. So they
Right.
might, and I might just be like in bed because
Yeah.
I'm gonna run early, wake up early.
Well, I'm
Um,
actually nervous about tonight because
you guys are
everybody
gonna
wants to do
send it.
karaoke. I've never
Yeah.
even done karaoke.
What's your
Um,
song gonna be? Do you know? Have you thought about it?
no, I'm like,
Practice in the
I'm
shower.
kind of annoyed. I'm like, can't we just go hang out? Like we've all been so tense. Like I like a year and a half ago stopped drinking on work trips just because like sleep is so important. And I'm like, I don't
Yeah.
want to lay down and like have any, I used to drink like and help me relax. And it does help me relax, but I'm like, I need to be like, when I sleep, I can't have anything interrupting it.
Yeah.
And so it's like a thing that the guys get together and drink still, or they'll have a drink, but they haven't really done it much this trip because Paul decided to not drink during this trip.
Ah, okay.
So everybody's
Dude, I
like,
don't know. Yeah.
yeah, everybody's so excited for tonight. But, and at first I was too, but now it's like turned into this whole karaoke situation. I'm like, guys, can't we just like hang out? I'm so
Just wanna have
fucking
a sip with
tired.
you and then peace. Yeah, like a nice meal.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I am excited. The meet is done an hour earlier and everyone's agreed to go. And it will be fun to just like relax and hang out with everybody, not in a, not that it's stressful because we all get along super well and we
Yeah,
joke,
it's
but
just a
like
high
we want to do a
intense
good
situation.
job.
Yeah.
You know, we want the ratings to be good. We want the athletes to be happy. We want the network to be happy. And so
And the
it's a
fans.
big job. Yeah. So now we'll finally get to let our Paul's going to some place today that has, I want to say 80 some types of whiskey
Uh,
and for lunch and everyone was like, "Well, you can have one." And he goes, "No, I can't. I'm
no.
like so so
One will
dry
be a
right
like a
now.
nightmare,
Like I
yeah.
keep going the last night of action. Like Paul has been crushing it, by the way.
Yeah.
It's a totally different position for him. He has been play by play many times, but not at this level. And he has
Mhm.
been crushing it and he's been such
Yeah.
a good leader and he's just done such a great job and he's like, I can't mess it up now. I'm like,
Right.
well, you know, I can't like come in tonight and be like slurring his words or
It's
something.
like, "That
So
one hit me hard. I had a drink in 3 months, and it just crushed me."
it just crushed me. So
Yeah,
yeah, it'll be nice to just let loose a little, but
for
I'm
sure.
not I can't stay up that late anyway. I'm too much of a wuss. I tried to stay up last night and I couldn't. So anyway,
You can use your whole flight home to have beverages.
yes. Well, yes. On the way
Bless you.
out here, I think I was telling you that my flight attendant was like talking to me and then I don't even remember what happened, but he was like, "Do you what do you want?" And I was like, "I just white wine, but like not Chardonnay." And he's like, "Oh, is there a story behind the Chardonnay?" And I was like, "Not really. I just don't like it." And then he kept bringing me like different types of wine, and then he was like, "You're fun," and I was like, "I am fun." And then I was like, "No, I'm not. I feel terrible. I feel terrible."
Yeah,
And
that's
I
not
have
fun.
like 8 hours left of this flight,
Like,
and
yeah,
so,
you sleep it off.
but yeah, well, I slept hard for like 2 hours, and then I was like, did not sleep it off. And
Yeah,
so I made some crucial mistakes on the way out here. I
lessons
can't
learned.
make those mistakes again.
Be better on the way home.
Yeah,
Space
I
it out more.
definitely will be.
Alright,
Okay.
well, let's just sync Ketone IQ properly really quick. They've been super helpful in supporting this pod and the mental clarity, the caffeine, just the effectiveness of these Ketone IQ shots. I can't say enough great things about them. I had one before my run this morning, and just another one right now. They're working their magic. I don't know.
They're
Check
working
them out.
overtime.
Go to the website. If you subscribe to, I don't know, a box or a subscription or whatever it may be, you can use our code, which is in the show notes, and get a discount. And yeah, I think they're worth trying out. There's some really great flavors now.
It's really popular in the NBC booth, I will say. Otto has been
Yeah.
using them for years, but he's been drinking my flavored ones because he didn't have any flavored ones. And then you brought me an extra box, so I've been sharing of the caffeinated. I've been sharing them with Trey, so he used it last night. And then he even said after, I think that was my best call ever. And I was like,
Dang. Correlation,
I don't know.
causation, who
Yeah.
knows? Who knows?
So
Um,
it's been popular with the whole crew over here. It's been awesome. So we appreciate it.
yeah, thanks for the support. And if you want to support the pod, check out our sponsor, Ketone IQ, linked in the show notes. All right, let's get into the meat. Let's what's
Let's
been
do it.
going on? What are the big distance? I think we should talk distance, but we did get a little bit of slack for not talking about Sydney's races, so we should touch on that.
Okay, well, I don't call the 400. I know that Sydney McLaughlin Levrone is amazing, and I will say we're sitting next to the BBC, and there's a lot of chat between Otto and them. And
Hmm.
before the meet started, the thought was that Sydney had her work cut out for her. Paulino and
Right.
Ed Nassar were the favorites by quite a bit, and that Sydney would medal. It was just sort of like what color. And
Hmm.
then after the semi, when she ran well under the existing American record,
Hmm.
everyone came up to the booth and they're like, "Never mind, Sydney's going to win, and she's
It's
probably
locked
going to
up.
run under 48 seconds."
Yeah.
And it was like it flipped like that. It went from
Yeah.
everyone saying the uneducated fan doesn't realize how fast these other women are. You know, they just think it's Sydney, so she's going to win. And then
Right.
literally within 30 minutes, everyone was like, "Never mind, Sydney's winning." And
By
her
how much and
positioning
how
on the
fast?
yeah,
Right.
this her positioning on the track was so good because she had Nassar and Paulino outside of her. So she got
Hmm.
to see them the whole time. Paulino was way out in lane 8, was running blind the whole time.
Yeah.
And I actually thought she ran a fantastic
I
race
was gonna
because
say she ran
she
incredible.
couldn't see anything. She ran
Right.
completely blind. She came off the turn. Only Sydney was in front of her. And to be honest, she closed a little bit
Yeah.
on Sydney, but she just didn't have any real estate. And actually yesterday, Kevin Sailors told us that and granted, they slow down and they speed up throughout the race, but 100 meters in, Sydney ran the first 100.20 faster than Paulino. She beat
Hmm.
Paulino by 0.21. So it does make you
Oh,
wonder if Paulino had
interesting.
been able to see Sydney
Yeah.
a little bit, could it have been
Flip the
closer?
switch. Yeah.
But anyway, she ran amazing. It's to me, I wasn't surprised because after her semi, all of the 400-meter experts around the world were talking to Otto, and everyone was like, "Oh, 48 is going down." Now the question is, how close does she get to the world record?
Mhm.
And so I wasn't surprised. I was just like, "Here we go. Sydney's gonna win. She's gonna run sub 48." But
Right.
I guess the time blew a lot of people's minds. I guess like times don't blow my minds the way they should anymore.
No, I agree with that. I also think when you're not it's not your primary event, which is crazy, like, you the times don't really even register to you, right?
Right.
You're just sort of like, "I'm gonna go and put my foot on the gas, and, like, I have to be all in." I don't ha I there's no, like, strategy or anything for her. It's just like, "Okay, I'm this not super familiar, so I need to just blow this out of the water because I'm
Hmm.
not the favorite." And then the
Right.
time is a product of the race, which we always talk about, like, when you're just racing and you're a little bit scared and you have to level up, the times kinda come as a product of the racing.
It
It
was
seemed like
interesting.
that.
She said in an interview after, she's like, "Oh, I'm on the internet. I see the criticism. I see what people
Ooh,
say. They say I can't, that I'm not a 400-meter runner." And I was like, "Oh, okay. I want more of this Sydney.
get off the
I want
internet,
to see that Sydney."
though.
You know what I mean? I don't
Yeah,
want to
for
see,
sure.
I'm so, I mean, I get it. Like, she is
Yeah,
who she is, but it's like, "Oh, I'm so grateful. I'm so appreciative. All glory to God." Like, da 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 da. But we got to see a little snippet of what motivates her.
real, yeah,
And I
something
was like,
real.
keep going there." But
Right.
they didn't. It was interesting. Paulino got some flack for saying afterwards that she herself the world champion because she shows up and she races all year round, and that Sydney doesn't really race and just comes in, and that doesn't make her like the overall body of work. She believes hers is better. And my thought on that was that's a conversation to be had and like something to
Sure.
think about, but not right after you lose to Sydney.
And you're not the world champion
And you're actually
because
not.
that's
No,
what
you're not.
this is. That's what this decides.
Right.
This meet right here
Right.
decides.
If you wanna talk about overall and I like
Yeah.
Paulino, so this isn't
Yeah,
a
yeah.
slam on her, and I actually think, like, that's an interesting conversation. I
It's a
think
good
we've had that
conversation.
with the men's 1500 in the years, like,
Mhm.
Jakob Ingebrigtsen doesn't win worlds or doesn't win the Olympics, but runs the fastest time of the year, wins all of the
Right.
meets up until then. So, does he have an overall better year? Perhaps, yeah, you could
Right.
argue
Athlete of
overall,
the
but
year versus world
right, yes,
champion.
but the actual world champion, he is not, and the actual world champion, Paulino, was not.
Right. And I mean, kudos to Sydney. I feel like she raced more this year than a lot of years because
Yeah,
of
of all
Grand
the
Slam,
years
and
to, like,
she
throw
mixed it
shade
up
on
and
that. Yeah,
yeah. If
yeah,
that one hadn't been canceled, it would have been 2 more races.
right. That's right.
It's taken away from her.
Yes.
Yeah, so exciting, I think kinda surprising for some folks, but shouldn't be surprised. No one should be surprised by what she's capable of. I think that we just again, it's like stripping away barriers and just being open to be wowed and not go like, "Wow, I thought that that was impossible." Like, nothing it's all open for it's all fair game these days,
I
feels
will
like.
say I'm hardly on social right now, but I did see someone comment, like, "How did we not mention that the world record is held by someone and it's a dirty record?" Well, A, I don't call it 400, okay, first of all. Second of all, the person who holds the world record was never caught.
Right. You could just make
And so you can't just be
assumptions
like,
or
"Well, that was the clean world record." Like, you
yeah.
can't say stuff like that. And if the person who held the world record I mean, there is a lot of history there. There are a lot of doubts that it's clean. But if you can't just be like, "Well, we believe that wasn't real anyway." So Sydney, you know what I mean?
Some people
So
can. I mean, if it's Chip and Gettich, they can. And maybe that's changed, like, how what people think is acceptable,
yeah, maybe.
like, but
Maybe.
I'm not doing that. I'm gonna give
But
you
professionally, until someone
right,
gets popped, you and I might think something suspicious and we might talk about it, but on air, I think that's wildly inappropriate,
yeah, no,
and
100%.
it is what it is, and
Yeah.
also, I don't call the 400, so
To
you
go
don't need
back
to
to
tag
that.
me. You don't need to tag me and stuff like that,
Yeah,
but in general, I have just stayed off social because I don't wanna see anything or hear anything that gets in my head of the job that I'm doing, which,
that's smart.
you
Yeah, I
know,
mean, I think it's such a thankless job, and you
I
crush so
mean,
many
all I
calls,
ever
but it's
see is,
not
like,
like
what I said wrong, like,
right.
I was trying to talk I saw one other thing, which was, like, during the men's 1500 or sorry, during the men's 5,000 meter first round, nobody thought Jakob was gonna get in from my
Mm,
team, and I'm like, "I believe he's gonna get in, and I'm gonna explain to you why on air," which is that his training is more towards 5,000, he cares about
yeah,
the 1,500 the most, but he hasn't been able to win it, but the 5,000, he's won the last 3 championships, and
right.
someone's like, "How fucking dumb are you? He won the Olympics in 2021 in the 1,500," and I'm like,
Yeah, thanks.
yeah, I know.
But
Trust
it's
me.
still yeah.
I know. But I'm talking about the
Uh,
last 3 years in which he's won the 5,000. So anyway, I just, like, stay off of social. I just, like, look at my
yeah,
son's account and look at athlete interviews, but I've really
sure.
been off social. So I am a little bit out of it. But anyway,
It's
those
a
are
great platform for, "Well, actually," and it's like, "Cool, like,
right.
get the
Right.
job, and then you can say whatever you want."
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot harder than you think in the moment to say everything exactly how everyone else wants you to say it. But
Right. "I can't
okay.
believe you didn't mention blah, blah, blah." Like, I only have so much time. Sorry I didn't read your mind during the call.
Yeah.
It's
People are
crazy.
crazy, man.
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
should we do you wanna talk about the women's 5,000? Oh, wait, is there any other sprint things? I guess we should cover the
No, that's
relays
good.
were
I mean,
okay.
yeah, we can do the relays. I think they were chaos, so
The
for sure.
relays were pure chaos. I mean, the men's 4 by 4 is just so consistently
Yeah.
always good, always in the final, and from the US, and they just were, like, being outrun. It was
Mhm.
weird to watch, it was weird to see them struggling,
Right. Who is
but
this
on
group
their
and what's
handoff
happening?
from yeah, their handoff from 2nd to 3rd man, once they line you up, once the officials put you in position, it doesn't matter if they put you into 5th place, but your guy sprints into 2nd, you still have to find your person in
Right.
5th place. You're still handing off earlier, but that's part of the game. And Zimbabwe came flying by the US guy, but cut into the inside, even though they were lined up the opposite way. And it was interesting because they definitely were impeded, no doubt about it.
Yeah, yeah.
But there was
But
some thought on the NBC side that they were in that position because
yeah,
they weren't running great. You know what I mean?
right.
They were already getting beat by quite a few teams. But so they were way back on their third leg. He tried to catch up. He really didn't do any damage. And then on their anchor leg, he just like went for broke and then
Mhm.
like a high school athlete. But
Right.
I get it, right? It's just
You
desperation.
just
Then he
have to, right?
just fell apart down the home stretch. So we knew that they would protest, but then, and I don't know enough, maybe you know, I don't remember why Kenya also was impeded, but
I don't
Kenya
know.
had also protested, and there's only 9
Okay.
lanes on the track. So 8 get to the final, but they can add a ninth. So they raced off this morning, US versus Kenya,
Love
for
it.
the final spot in the final tonight.
Dual meet.
Isn't that crazy?
That is crazy. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, it is kind of fun. So the US won, so they're into the final, but now they already have a race in their legs today, although they can sub one or two people. But it
Okay.
was just chaos because afterwards we went to commercial and we're all like, what just happened? Like the US has literally never not been in the final ever.
Yeah.
And they didn't qualify at that
I
point.
feel
But they
like
were
the officials have been busy this meet. Like, there's
yes.
been a lot of wild stuff and, like, a lot like Rye Benjamin,
Yes.
like, the 1,500 meter like, and they're actually impacting results to a degree, which is unfortunate, but
Yeah, so the Rye Benjamin thing, if people were watching, he won. And then I'm in the box with the pros and they're all like, he's out. So I think I was
right.
texting you. I'm like, Rye
Yeah.
Benjamin's DQ'd. He doesn't even know. And we were watching it
No.
during commercial. And the rule is that if your hurdle moves another person's hurdle, you're out. Well, his hurdle, he hit hurdle 10 and it went to the left and it bumped the hurdle next to him. Well, per the
Right.
rules, see ya. And
Right.
so he was DQ'd for a while, but then the US protested back saying that even though the other person's hurdle moved, it didn't actually change anything in their race because they were a couple strides behind. And
Right.
even though the hurdle, it got bumped and it moved, it didn't move enough where he had to adjust
Didn't
anything
change
about
his
his
race, right.
stride.
Yeah.
So then he was reinstated, which I believe is the right call, but it was just like a whirlwind. I'm like, he's
Right.
out. He doesn't even know. This is so depressing. You're like,
I
what? Oh
know.
my
He's
God. And then
wearing
I'm
the
like, I
crown,
can't.
like, "Oh, here you go. You can have it."
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's and
It's
that's
pretty
why
wild.
I'm glad he's in. He deserved to win. But what I find weird is like if the rule's an automatic DQ if your hurdle hits another person's hurdle,
The consistency's been
the
strange, I
consistency is
guess.
weird. Yeah. And I'm all for Rice staying in. He deserved
Yeah.
to win. He was way ahead of everybody. Don't get me wrong. It did not
Right.
affect the person's race. But yeah, the consistency in the way the rules are applied, I guess I'm a little bit like, what? So there is still some like room to finagle and fight for what you want a little bit.
Right. Yeah, I also wonder how much it changes if you're the winner. You know what I mean? Because it's
Oh yeah.
such an unsatisfying, like, Paris Cheptegei's DQ'd because she took water 10 steps out of the aid station, like, you know what I mean? Like, after
Right.
and then, like, we've celebrated her, she's got the medal, we
Right.
watched this crazy sprint finish, and then, like, go and explain that to the fans.
Right.
Like, that's just so hard.
Someone handed her
So
water earlier that she did not
right,
grab herself, so she cheated.
right. Was it different water? Like, was it, like
I
but
know.
per the
Wait,
rules,
speaking of Paris chapter chart, did you see the thing about
the
her?
flight.
Okay.
Yeah, that's actually
So
really funny.
for
Break that
anyone that
down.
doesn't know, she wins the gold medal, as Des just says, in a sprint finish in the marathon. And then she's flying back to Kenya and she's in a middle seat in economy in the middle. And the flight attendants come and they like bring her a dessert and champagne.
Aw.
And they're being super nice. They're like, we're
Yeah.
so honored to have you. And she's kind of like hiding at first. And then she's like, thank you, thank you. And then they post this as if like, look at our hero being celebrated. And
Yeah.
everyone's like, why is
She's
she in the
sitting
middle
where?
row in economy?
Right. Like, you could see the bathroom in the shot, like, that's a
And
last
they
seat on the
did not get
plane.
the reception off this social media post that they thought. People started getting
Yeah.
so mad, and then it was like after that they're like, any champion will fly back in business class.
Welcome to track and field. Remember when we were at that tennis event and they were showing us all the facilities and the amenities, and we're like, wrong sport."
Yes.
That is kind of a bummer. You know what's funny is, like, on my flight, everyone in business is like a coach or an official, or you know what I mean? It's all the people outside of the athletes competing sitting in those seats. And granted, I came a little bit later, not really, but you're like, the athletes are not, they're not getting that. But everyone
No.
involved in this, like the sport has so much money. The
Yes.
running industry has so much money, and the athletes get so little money. It just breaks
When
my heart.
I went to Beijing for the Olympics, I like applied for an upgrade because, USATF doesn't give you a first class seat. And they were like, I kept checking in. And they're like, there's one person in front of you. He still hasn't checked in yet. And I was like, oh God, oh God. And then they're like, sorry, you have to board. So I board, go to the back of the plane. I'm in a middle seat in the back. I think Dathan was on one side, Amy Begley on the middle. And I'm
At
like,
least you
this
knew them.
sucks. And I'm like putting my stuff away. And then all of a sudden this flight attendant come back and she's like, you get to go up. And just what you're saying, Des, I walk past everybody who's about to compete at the Olympics and I go to the front where I have my own, all the space, and it's all USOC people, some coaches, some
Yeah.
USATF people, no other athletes up there. And I was like happy for myself, but I was like,
Mhm.
this is crazy. Like everyone that has to compete that's making you guys look good, that's making
Right.
you guys money, are crammed in the back.
Right.
Yeah.
But how fun is that walk though when they pull you up and you get upgraded and you're like, "Fuck you, fuck you, fuck you."
I know. I was just like so crestfallen because I was so close to getting
I
it.
know.
She's like, there's only one person in front of you and they haven't checked in yet. And then she was like, I'm sorry, you have to board. And I was like, okay. And everyone's already gotten in because I kept waiting with hope. So I go back there. I'm like, oh, sorry, like shoving my stuff in because all the space is taken, wiggle my way into the seat. And then she came back and it was the same woman. And I was like, please come to me. Please come to me. Please come to me. And she did.
Yeah, that's yeah. I don't know. I feel like there should be I would maybe negotiate that in contracts for athletes, but whatever. That's not my
I
job.
know.
All right, let's talk about something else. How about those 5,000s?
Okay. The 5,000, we have four of the top four fastest women in history in this race. I did not think it was going to play out this way. I thought that Agnes Nitich, Faith Kipyegon, Beatrice Chebet, Nadia Batacletti, Gurov Sagai,
Mhm.
whoever I'm forgetting. Did I say Beatrice Chebet already?
Yep.
Okay. Well, I thought those
You got the
five
players.
women at some point, I thought Agnes Nitich is like the lowest on the totem pole at Kenya, even though she is the third fastest woman ever at 5,000 meters. I thought she, just like she did in the 10, at some point would be the sacrificial lamb to
Like
go
team
up and,
tactics,
and
like you're
draw it
doing
out,
this.
like
Yep.
draw it out, separate it down to 4 or 5. And that just didn't happen. And
Mhm.
it was funny because I was talking to Robbie Andrews before the race and he's like, I told Josette, like, get on the rail, like quit wasting time on the outside. So she did. The gun goes off and
Yeah.
she's out quick.
She was
She
out
gets hooked on the
hard.
rail
Like,
and all of a sudden she's leading the world
oh
championship.
shit. She had such a sense of purpose getting off the line. I was
Uh-huh.
like, "Oh, she wants to take this thing."
Yeah.
But yeah, she's just like, "I just want my spot."
She's like, I just want to run clean because I know it's going to be a while before the moves are made. And then she just finds herself in the lead. And it reminded me of Beijing actually in '08, which I didn't say on air, which was a very similar situation where it was just a jog fest.
Mhm.
And like, it's her first time there. And it's like, what
Right.
she did everything right. But that's not what you
Mhm.
imagine. What you imagine is I'm going to have to run the hardest I've ever run in my
Right.
life. And I have to just be all in and I can't question it. And you're ready and you get in position and then you're like,
Uh, uh,
yeah.
oh.
You could see it on her face. She was like, what's happening? And
Oh,
then
no.
Shelby Houlihan also got out well and was on her
Mhm.
shoulder. And everyone just was happy to
Yeah.
just jog.
We'll wait and kick. We'll wait and
Yeah.
kick. Hurry up and
Wait and
wait.
kick. And then finally, Shelby decided to like, I mean, they were running like 78s,
Yeah, it was all
79s.
over.
It was all over. And then Shelby started like kind of bringing it down. She ran, I think, a 73, a couple 72s. Then she started running a 71. It was kind of like she just slowly started
Tighten the
tightening the
screws.
screws, but
Yeah.
not enough to break it open or anything.
Mhm.
Um, and I just remember thinking, and maybe I said it, like, they know that these other women are coming. And by the time they see the other women already have an advantage because they've already picked it
Like
up
moving,
to
right?
be here, and they just have to not think and just react, like immediately just
Right.
start kicking when they come. But what were your thoughts in the middle of the race?
I you could tell that they didn't wanna be leading, but I felt like they were doing what they needed to, and it was like, "Okay, well, you're in control of it, you can make it what you want it to be." So I thought that was okay, but I do feel like no one wants to make it honest, no one wants to make it aggressive. If you find yourself on the front accidentally, you're just like, "Okay, well, I'm waiting for someone to go by me."
Right,
But at a certain point when no one goes by, I thought that was managed pretty well, like, we just have to start winding it up. Um, and I thought it was interesting afterwards, Shelby said that, like, right now, one of her weaknesses is that ability to really switch gears quickly. So you could almost see that in the tactics when you, like, look back at it. It's like, "Oh, yeah, she's just, like, winding into
right,
it and hoping to be closer for when the big move happens." And, yeah, she was ready enough when
right.
it did. Yeah.
What do you think about these tactics at these champs? I mean, during the race with like 2 laps to go, I was like, "I hope a non-favorite steals this." Like, I'm
100%,
annoyed by
right.
these tactics. I'm
Yeah.
a little bit annoyed at not all of the races, but how some of these races have gone. And, like with, it's not Nader, I was told, by the way. It's like,
Mm. Nadar?
uh I'm still gonna say it wrong, but Isaac Nader maybe, but him taking the
Huh.
15, Gressier taking the 10. I was kind of like feeling, no one
Right.
should beat Beatrice Gibet. The only person that should have a possibility of beating Beatrice Gibet is Faith Kipyegon. But I
Uh-huh.
started to think, I hope someone takes it. I hope
Yeah.
they leave it
Yeah,
open
yeah.
and like, and
Especially
that
when you
didn't end
have
up
someone
happening,
leading
but
like that. Yeah, and you're like it's
yeah,
like Susanna Sullivan being out front. You're like, "Dude, she's put in so much work. She just made this honest. I hope that she kind of just sneaks away." And
yeah,
then, like, serves you right. Like, it's a
right.
fuck around, find out situation.
Yes,
Like, you're about to find out
yes,
that you can't
yeah,
just wait forever. So I agree with that, where you're kind of, like, rooting against the favorites because you're just not helping the cause. Like, make
yeah.
it interesting. Like, get up there and make it a real race.
It it's been interesting for me too to see the tactics even between like Chibet and Kipyegon because
Mhm.
Chibet has a better flat out kick than Kipyegon.
Isn't that wild?
But it is wild. But if they ran a 1500,
No, yeah, no
Chibet can't
chance.
beat Faith. In fact, Chibet can't beat Guvras Sagai. They raced each
Right,
other. And Guvras Sagai can outkick Chibet, but she can beat her in a 15 because they go from the gun and they run a
right,
full 1500 meters. And so I kept thinking, Faith will take this with 1,200 to a K to
right.
go because nobody can run with her. If she like starts running 1,500-meter pace, no one can do that. But she didn't. She played it exactly how she did last year in Paris, where she
And it
moved up, and
right.
moved up, and then tried to go hard with 200, and it's not enough. And like,
Goes
listen,
exactly the same.
yeah, I'm not actually criticizing the goat, but I do sometimes think, what are you thinking? Like,
Yeah, like, we saw this last year. Why wouldn't you tweak some things, like, pull some levers that you didn't last year and try something new? But
and no,
also, you wonder I mean, I don't know, how much do the 15 rounds sit in your legs? And you're like, "I actually don't have
yeah, and
the
that's
punch."
fair.
But
And I also had this thought that last year the 1,500 was after the 5,000. So I
mhm,
thought, well, maybe she just wasn't totally willing to go to the well in that final 100 because the next morning she had the first round at the
right.
1,500. And so there is a possibility that that was in the back of her mind. But, last night it's all over. It's just, again, this is probably the same thing. It actually is not probably. This is the exact same thing as people watching my commentating and being like, why isn't she saying this? And why isn't she saying that? But but for me as a fan and
Yeah, that's the
knowing these
fun
women,
part.
yeah, knowing these women so well, it's like nobody can beat Chibet over 100 meters. You just
Yeah,
can't do it. So how do you beat Chibet then? She can't beat you in a 1500. So what is the difference? The difference is that you run the full 15, you race the full 1500 instead of running 1400 and then racing 100.
yeah.
And I just listen, I'm not good enough to be like them, but I just think as soon as no one took it, I'm like, Chibet's gonna win.
Sure, like, every lap that goes by that isn't honest, you're just like,
Yep.
"Well." This is tipping like it's like the odds are you're just watching them go up for her.
Right. And I know that Chibet's run faster over 5,000 than Faith. I know all
For
that.
sure.
But there is at some point where Faith is faster. Faith ran a faster 3K than Chibet this year. Chibet can't beat Faith in a 1500.
Right.
She raced Gudoff's the guy who cannot beat Faith, and Gudoff's the guy beat her handedly. So it's like, but how did they do that? They did it by actually racing the whole distance. So
Yeah.
it was the top 3 that I thought it would be, but it definitely unfolded more different than I thought.
I thought Paul's stat was really good. He had a stat at the end where it was like the differential between like the slowest lap and the fastest lap was it was insane. It was I want to say it was like 12, 18 seconds or something like
Oh, it
that.
was more than that, I
Might have
think.
been
Yeah.
20.
Yeah, gift 20 because I think they closed in like
20.
58 and there was a
Okay.
78 in there.
Like that's insane. Um yeah, even to have those that type of speed at the end of a 5K because you've
Right.
dinked around for so long, you're like, well,
Right.
that's something to keep in the back of your mind next time.
Yeah. I did think that the Americans ran great. I thought
Mhm.
Josette Andrews, I was talking with her husband and a little bit with her. Like, she did everything right. Her first
Yeah.
global final, when they went by her, she reacted right away. She held her positioning well. There was a few times where Agnes Natich was trying to cut in front of her, and she was like, "You don't have
Yeah.
space to do that." So she was giving it back. I thought she ran an awesome race, and Shelby Houlihan able to kick off of doing a lot of the leading, which takes so
Yeah,
much mental energy. I mean, I thought she ran great too.
for sure.
Yeah.
All right. Men's 800. Let's talk a little bit about the rounds because that was kind of wild. And
It's
just
just
like
so
the upset,
fast.
not even the upsets, it's just how dramatically the events changed. And also all the American men, I mean, who were players last year. You're looking at Hoppel being just off the podium at the Olympics, running the American record. And he, like, what? What happened?
I know. I know. I think that for Cooper Lutkenhouse, it was just a long year
Sure.
and a new ball game. And
Right.
I saw a headline that I didn't like. This guy's like, "What the heck happened to Cooper?" And I like yelled at him basically. And then he was like, "No,
Yeah.
I'm a huge fan." And I'm like, "Well, fucking change your
Be nicer
clickbait
about
rage then, because
it.
it worked. You raged
Right.
me in." For him, I feel like inexperienced, probably a little overwhelmed, and a really long year.
Sure.
It felt like Hoppel had played it a little differently. He said, like, I know I didn't look as good in the last few Diamond Leagues, but that's because I couldn't just rest for those. I had to keep training if I wanted to do well here.
Mhm.
And then Brazier, there's just so much unknown. Like, his goal for the year was just to get back into the sport,
Right.
and then it changed to like making it to USA's, and then it changed to making the US final, and then it changed to coming here,
Yeah.
and then he got here, and he even said, like, I started thinking about winning and
I
medaling
know,
again.
like, that changed so fast. It was the
Yeah.
expectation just hit a ramp, and it's like, well, the game's also changed.
Yeah. So I think both of them had really bad positioning.
Mhm.
And
Yeah,
and I did watch their interviews a little after. I try not to consume too much once they're out because I don't want it to like mess
right.
with my brain. So maybe you watched more than me, but Brazier said that he thought the inside would open up, and it did, but it was just
It was
way too late.
late.
And
Yeah,
he
late,
went
late.
for it. He made the move, but with 50 to go, you can't make up 2 seconds.
Right.
You
And he
know,
was so close.
I know, I
So
know,
close.
so close. He almost got a time qualifier, right?
Like
So like
200ths?
he was so close, but that was a bummer. And for him, I feel like we almost wanted too much from him. Like, we forget that he's been out for
Yeah,
so many years.
right. We take
Um,
his old Brazier of the past and try to plop it in, and it's like,
yeah,
well, that's not fair.
that's not fair. But I do think, and it's been interesting. He said throughout the rounds, like, I don't know, I want to be here. I want to compete. Like, I don't know how much more time I have left. Like, these guys are young. I'm 28 or whatever. Is he 28? No, that can't be right. Could be
He
right.
looks like a baby still.
He
He
does,
went
but he
pro
was
so young.
22 or 21 when he won his title in 19.
19.
Um,
Yeah.
I think he is 28 or 27, doesn't matter. And that makes me sad to think like, oh, he's on the later side of his career because we lost so much of him. But also, sometimes I think when you miss years,
Add
it
some
does
years
stack
to
on. I
the
mean, he
yeah.
was so out of the sport that in February when Mike Smith told him like, I want you to do a track workout, I want you to do 8x200, he was like, or 6x200. He was like, I have no idea where a track
I'm
is.
gonna
And
do
he's
some
been in Florida
research
for
here.
years. And he had to push
Yeah.
the workout back a day or two because he had to find a track,
Yeah.
you
That's
know?
wild.
So I think he's gonna just keep rolling, roll it into next year and hopefully roll it into Beijing and LA. I mean, that would be the ultimate
Yeah.
Cinderella story
I
of
would love to
LA.
see him make an Olympic team,
Me
but
too.
I don't know, that could be a huge ask when you look at, like,
Right.
the
I
young
mean, the
kids
event
coming
is
up.
just changing so quickly.
Yeah.
And Bryce Hoppel, like, I always feel like everyone's so hard on Bryce Hoppel. I mean, he was fourth in 2019, the year Brazier won. He was
Yeah.
fourth last year. He did everything right last year, around 141 to shatter the American record, get fourth. But he's, to me, and again, I'm coming from just like looking at the work, he's just kind of been all over the place this year. Sometimes
Yeah,
he's
that's
run
fair.
super, super well,
That's
and
fair.
other times he's kind of just like way out the back. And I did not like his positioning. I might have even said it on air. I was like, gross, I don't like this. He's in really bad positioning. It's just like in those rounds with 300 to go, if you are completely boxed in, you're totally screwed.
Mhm.
And I don't run the 800 enough, or I hadn't run the 800 enough. Like, I know to slow down and move around just probably destroys your
Right.
momentum. But at the same time, if you're totally trapped coming off the final bend, you're screwed.
That's not gonna work, right?
Yeah. So, what did you think about his round?
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree with all of that. I think that you're right in that this year he's been kind of all over. Um, but I wonder how much that's a product of, like, the Olympic slump, you know?
Yeah.
Like, everyone's firing on all cylinders for Paris, and you're trying all the tactics, and you're testing all the moves, and you're testing all the situations, and I feel like you get in this year and you're just like, "I'm just gonna see what happens," you know?
Right.
And maybe that's what you're seeing
Yeah. And
a
he's
little
made
bit.
every team, all
Right, he's
5
so
teams,
consistent, like, he even
including the
is in his inconsistent year, like,
yes,
he's on the team.
every year.
So,
Every year
I
since
don't
Doha,
know.
so 5 years in a row plus the year at Doha.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you remember, and maybe this is too gossipy, but Sajati's hotel room was raided at the
Yeah, I remember that.
Olympics by
Yeah,
anti-doping authorities. And Sajati was expected to like win last year. Like he was crushing everybody on the Diamond League.
right.
And in the final, he was out of it and it was kind of shocking. And down the last 50, Bryce Hoppel was getting the bronze and Sajati just came out of nowhere and went
Nowhere.
by him. And sometimes I think that had to be such an emotional blow. You know, to like set yourself up, do everything right in training, everything right in that race, everything right, and to lose the medal and to lose the medal to someone whose hotel room was raided by anti doping authorities at the Olympics. I don't know. Emotionally, I just feel like that's a
Yeah,
place I can't imagine
it's
being
got some
in.
feels to it.
A lot of feels. Yeah.
E Right. It's the I mean, this is a whole different podcast, but the doping stuff's so hard because you can't make these assumptions about people that are in the field and that you're racing because it doesn't matter. You have to race them, you have to beat them, like, but at the same time, if you're clean and you're doing it right, you're like, "I it's impossible. Like, I can't do that." But as soon as you have that feeling, it's like, "Okay, well, then that's impossible. I can't medal
Right.
because that's what those guys are doing." So it's just this crazy conflict, and I could see that coming to a head and just being like, "Well, I'm gonna do what I can, but I also know I'm up against some things that are out of my control," which is the sport in general, but yeah, I can see that weighing on someone.
Yeah. And even if he's not
Um,
like, oh, fully thinking about it all the time, I don't know. I don't think that Bryce Hoppel gets enough credit for everything he's done in the
yeah,
last however many years. I didn't like the way he ran that semi and it cost him a spot in the final, but he's just been so consistent and he's worked so hard and sometimes I feel like he doesn't always get the credit.
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
think yeah, well, consistency is not really sexy, and he's
Right.
just been just short of the thing that's
Right.
sexy, you know? Like, I'm so close to the medal, I'm so close to being
Right.
the guy, but it's like, I'm really good all the time, but I'm not great,
The
which
guy.
is hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's go into the guys who made the final and how that looked, which was a crazy race. Times are blazing. The racing was just lights out. How was the call? How was that
Yeah.
doing 3-person booth? And what were you guys thinking about in there?
The 3-person booth on the 8 is tough because it's a short race and
Yeah,
everyone
so
has,
short.
the one thing that works well for us is I'm more of a storyteller and a strategizer where Otto really loves history and
Stats.
stats.
Yeah.
And so that's one way in which we work really well together is he's going to tell you like the history
Hmm.
and medal count and stats and PRs where I'm going to tell you how someone likes to race and blah blah
Hmm.
blah. But it is tough. But I really wanted Marco Arop to win. I love him. I love
Hmm.
the way he talks. He's like so calm, like this gentle
Yeah.
competitor. Um, I knew that Wanyoni was the overwhelming favorite. I knew that he would make it hell for everyone.
Yeah.
And Paul kind of thought that Wanyoni would win. Otto thought that Sajati might surprise everybody, and I was like there for a rope. So we were all Paul ended up being right, but we all had our little glimpses of where we were right. I thought maybe
Yeah.
so it went out when Yoni went out super hard, but then a rope tried to pass him right before the first
Yeah.
turn at 200, and I thought that would be really good for him because then when Wanyoni would have to
You
go
can hold the
around him at
space,
some
right?
point,
Yeah.
but Wanyoni just like elbowed him out and was like, no. And
Not
then
today.
I thought, yeah, I was like, damn, like that's it. Like because they're running so fast and they're so strong, that's going to be
Hmm.
really hard for him to come by him now at any point in the race. And then down the home stretch, Uro moved wide, and I was like, oh my God, he's going to do it. He like planned it.
Right.
This is going to be great. And he did take the lead for like a beat. And then Wanyoni started to fight back, and then Sajati came on the outside. I didn't even see him coming. And then he ended up getting
Yeah.
silver. Wanyoni held on to win, and Uro was third. Mick Phillips from Ireland, who set a big personal best in the semi to set an Irish record, set another 2-second personal best in the final.
Oh, wow.
It
That's
was like
wild.
crazy. It was like, I think they said, I don't know, I'd have to look at the results, but um, 6 people went under the existing championship record, which was Donovan Brazier's
Yeah.
record from
Yep.
2019. And it was just bonkers. Like it's visually stunning in person, I think, to see how fast they're running the whole time. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, it's
Yeah, I
crazy.
feel like it's one of those events that you can actually capture it and you understand, like, you can see it. You know what I'm like? You're watching the marathon, you're like, it looks like they're jogging.
Right, right.
But this looks like a sprint, and then it's like, that moment. Everyone has that moment in the 400, and you probably ran it in high school, or people have experience with that. Like that last 100, you're like, oh my god, like there's the bear with
Yeah.
the piano on my back, and you can see it. You can see it in
Yes.
those 4x4s, and like everyone knows that, but they go through that moment in the 800, and they just there's a whole nother lap, and yeah, it's like that. It's like right on that line the whole time, which is crazy.
Yeah, it's funny because Otto was like, you can't let Wanyoni have the lead. Like, you give it up. The minute you give him the
Hmm.
lead, you give it up. I'm like, well, what is a rope supposed to do? He tried to.
Right.
So I guess, I
Yeah.
mean, it's like kind of like when we're looking back at the women's 5, how does Faith beat Beatrice? It's like, I guess a rope just has to go out even
Right.
harder and
Is
claim
it
that
like get off
first
the line
position.
quicker? Like, are you
Yeah.
practicing standing starts? Like, I need to get that first 100, be so aggressive, but then also not
Yeah.
overcook myself. Like that,
But
the
then I have to
line
still
of
have
the
something
margin
to
for error is so
hold in that
small.
last 100.
Right.
Yeah, like you
Yeah.
can't completely fall apart in the last 100. So it's just like, I don't know, it's an exciting event. It was super fun to be on the call. It's really different than anything else I do because it's so short and there's 3 people, but it was really fun and I was
Yeah.
really happy to be a part of it and it was exciting. We get to do it again tonight for the women, so that'll be cool.
It's awesome. Well, you were great.
Yeah.
The race was great. The team was great. Yeah, it was fun to watch that one. And I will always be sad that I wasn't in the stadium for it, but I'm happy that I got to listen to it. So there's that. um, all right. Well, we have one more day left of track and field. Let's do quick hits on men's 5 and women's 8. Let's start with the women's 8, and then we'll send this thing home and we'll catch up with everyone back from the States.
Okay. Women's 8. Otto thinks that Keely Hodgkinson is like it's a done deal. He thinks she's as big a
Hmm.
favorite as Femke Bol. I disagree. I think
Ooh,
that
who you
there
got?
are
Because I
some
kind
like
of agree with
chinks in her
Otto.
armor this huh?
Okay. I kind of agree
Yeah.
with Otto, but I want to hear the counter me.
Oh, okay. I think that yes, she opens up at 154. She is who she is. But I think the confidence is a little shaken. And I think
Mm,
that the semi shook her a little bit too. And I think that there's I should grab my notes. I think that Hunter Bell is gonna come through late. I think she's gonna come through late and she's gonna come through
okay.
wide, like way out in like lane
Yeah.
3. But I think she could surprise people. And then I think there's a Kenyan woman, Odira or something. I should know this. Hold
Mara.
on, one second.
Oh, okay.
This would be embarrassing. I know there's a lot of talk about Vero from Switzerland, who's been running very very well. I'm not sure that she has the experience to be a huge factor tonight. She's run really fast, but that's different. Yeah, Odira from Kenya is like my dark horse. She might have left it all out there in the first 2 rounds, but she won both rounds, PRing both times, and both times mouth closed, like
Oh, wow.
not even breathing
Just
hard.
cruising. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, so
I like that. I
Odira
think
and
that that's
Hunter,
like a
yeah,
good
I just feel like you never know.
hot take. Yeah.
But
Dark
obviously
horse
Hodgkinson
underdog.
is the favorite. And I think
Yeah.
you'll know a lot right away because she likes to lead. And so she
Yeah.
goes out, she doesn't really separate in the first lap. It's on the backstretch where she starts to put the hurt on people. And what I'll be looking for is the gap big enough that Odira and Hunter Bell can't close that down?
Yeah.
If she hasn't put
Yeah.
enough daylight between them, they're going to come. Otto always says Hodgkinson has a third gear with 100 to go. I agree that she holds it together really well, but I actually think Hunter Bell
There's
has
not
a better
another.
last 100.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
she's coming from the 15. Keely's coming from the 400, so Keely can put enough distance on her that
Right.
it might be too late. So we'll
Right.
see. That's my hot take, and I mean everyone seems to agree with you, so I'm probably wrong.
No, I like that. I think that my stance is super easy, right? She just looks good, fastest on paper. But I do think what we notice in the men's 15 is people are dinged up and it'll catch up to you by the final, you know? And
Yeah,
obviously her season started late. She's been working through some stuff. So maybe that little shake in confidence is like, oh, this thing is biting a little bit and I'm a little nervous about. And, you know, those are always right on the edge by championship season. And you
right,
make the decision to push through. I'm not saying that's what it is. Like I'm not
right, right.
implying she's injured, but it wouldn't if she looks a little off, you know, like you have to wonder about that stuff late in the season.
Yeah. It's going to be good. That's all I know. Sarah Marat, who
Yes.
I'd never heard of before this meet, ran a huge personal best to win her heat. I think she passed, I guess she was second, but she ran 157.5. Everyone's good. Mary Marat, who hasn't looked great all year, has looked really good in the season.
She has.
And Sage Hurta-Klecker, good for her, got through on time. And
Yeah.
Jess Hall, I'm going to say that when Jess Hall, they were talking about highlighting her. We got a new producer for the last 3 days of the meet, which is always difficult, but he's doing a great
That's
job.
fun.
And or maybe it was our other producer. She had Jess Hall in the heats, and we were like, Jess Hall's not going to make the final.
Right.
We know she's amazing, but let's focus on someone else. And then she fell in that first heat, and they advanced her to the semi. And I'm like, she's not going to get out of this. I just think she needed that first round to run fast and hard to know what it feels
Yeah.
like. I am wrong because she ran freaking fast and set a national record and got the first time qualifier. So good for her in the final
Yeah, that
tonight.
was wild. Great field, great lineup. Yeah, we'll recap it in a day or two when we get home. All right, let's hit on
Yes.
the men's 5,000 real quick because that's going to be a fun one, and it's also we're pushing on U.S. men being shut out of the medals, right? Like, is this last chance or in the distance side anyhow? Mid distance? Am I missing
Yeah, this is
anyone?
it. No, this is
All
it.
right.
And all 3 men got through. If it unfolds like the women's race, I think we have a couple medals because I think Cole
Yeah,
Hawker and Nico Young and Grant Fisher, that is great for all of
they could
them.
kick.
I think I did watch Grant Fisher say everything's on the table. Like if he feels like he has to take it, he will. I just haven't seen that. I feel like his confidence is a little banged up right now. The 10,000 didn't
Yeah.
go how he wanted. He always goes to altitude And he said he didn't go because his legs felt so
Oh,
bad in the 10,000 that he was like, I need to just stay and recover down here. So he's off of his regular routine a little bit. And then even when he took the lead in the semi, he thought that that would just shake it out to at least down to 5 or 6 guys, and it didn't. So I'm
nothing.
not saying
Yeah.
he can't make a comeback because he's Grant Fisher, but it just feels like his confidence is a little bit shaken right now. And I think Cole Hawker is like redemption, redemption, redemption.
Mhm.
But I can see a situation, and Nico Young, who ran so well in the 10 but just missed out. He knows
Yeah.
now though, like I can do it. I was right there. I saw the medals being
Right.
won. But I do wonder in the like if Ingebrigtsen would go out and just hammer it just for like glory, even though he'll get eaten up. If he did do something like that, that to me helps Grant Fisher.
Yeah.
You know what I
Do you
mean?
think Grant do you think Grant will run to win, or do you think a little rattle in his confidence is gonna be like run to medal? Like, will he compromise running to win to just be on the podium?
I kind of think yes, the second. I kind of think his confidence is
Yeah.
rattled. And I think a year ago he would have come in here and even just a few months ago, but I think right now his confidence is a little rattled. I think the way his legs have been feeling has him a little rattled, and I think he's going to be more tactical and not able to run quite as free.
Right.
What about
I
you?
I like Nico Young's trajectory probably the best. I think he's just learning so much. He's
Hmm.
coming close. It reminds me a lot of Grant when he was just like just on the outside, but he has this like one more opportunity to get on the podium. Um, I love Cole Hawker. I think that he is in redemption mode. I still hate his tactics. I feel like he went to the front in the rounds and it was like, okay, I'm going to stay out of trouble. And then you see this moment where he's like, oh, I want to use my kick. And so then everybody closes up on him, and I don't know that the inside is going to open up for him. Like that's
I
he's
agree.
used that card a lot. So I don't know if he needs to change, if he will change. But all of that to say, it just continually seems to happen. So who knows?
It was kind of a sloppy round for him, I thought. Like there was a lot
Yeah.
of like, oh, look at I'm out here. I can cover everything. And then it was like, yeah, then trapped back on the rail. I was super glad to see him go through. He said he had no worries, which is great. You
Sure.
know what's so funny? Nico Young's interviews are like, I have to like really listen. Like he's
Yeah.
quiet, very thoughtful. You can see he's processing as he's answering. And I really like it because I'm sure at some point he'll get, I mean, he's been good for a long time. He was really good in high school, really good in college, but he doesn't just give off the typical answers like, well, you know, when you've been there a
Right.
long time, you just have like these answers like, well, I'm focused on this or whatever. You can see him like processing it as
I'm
he's
gonna
answering. He's
execute my
like, well, yeah,
plan.
no, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And he doesn't, he doesn't give like these long interviews, but he doesn't give any interviews like that. Right. So I really have
Yeah.
enjoyed his interviews. He's quiet, he's thinking everything through. But just the odds of having 3 out of 16 men in the final and the way that these races have been run, I mean, you got to think that the American men have a chance at nabbing one. But who the hell
Yeah.
knows?
Well, it'll be exciting to watch. Do you have a
What do you
favorite?
predict?
I don't know. I need to look at the
Do you think
full
it'll be
list
fast?
because no, I don't think anyone's going to
Yeah.
be super excited or motivated to press. So I think it'll get tactical. Do you think Ingebrigtsen factors at all? Like, do you think he's got the kick still?
No.
He looked human. He looks human right now. Like that 5K
Yeah.
round looked like he was fighting for it.
Yeah. The only thing I think that maybe he would do would be to go to the front just because he is the kind of person that's going to leave it all out there. And if he has any shot at all, it's by making the race happen. I think that helps everyone else in the field because it just makes them have to run a little bit
Yeah.
more. But I don't know that he will because I don't know that he has the strength right now. It is fascinating to me that, his first race of the year, he breaks the world record in the indoor mile by like a lot.
Right.
Like Nagoose broke it and then he was like, hold my
Yeah.
beer, let me
Came
destroy
back
it.
and yeah.
Okay. And he looks superhuman right now. He looks like a guy who's working his way
Yeah.
back into shape. it's weirdly endearing.
Right.
I don't know. It's like, wow, you are
It's
human, like you
refreshing for
said.
sure.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Like, okay, this
But
guy's actually a
I think he'll
human, not
do.
just a robot.
You're not a robot, it turns out. Yeah, I think he'll do everything in
Right.
his power to finish as high as possible. Um, but he's not going to win a medal here because even if
Yeah.
he doesn't have the strength to draw it out of
Doesn't have
everybody,
the kick.
and if it comes down
Right.
to a kick, he doesn't have the closing speed. So I don't see a situation in which he can get a medal.
I hope it would be really fun if he just, like, pulled something out of his ass and was like, "Nope, I've had it all along. It's just not for the
I
15."
know. I had that thought too. I had that thought that like he knew he couldn't win the 15, so he just dogged the first round,
Right.
and then he ran the first round of the 5,000, like just getting into the last place. Like he was looking around, like just making sure don't mess it up, just get through. And then he
Right.
comes in tonight and he's like, "Just kidding. I'm
Boom.
actually super, super, really, really
Yeah.
good
I
shape
am a
for the
robot.
robot mode activated."
Yeah.
That would be awesome, but
Love it.
probably
Love it.
not. Okay, well, do you love how our
Uh,
quick little episode is still going?
yeah, we should wrap it up. You've got work to do. You got this big thing going on this evening, and we're going to see some results and recap those when we're back stateside.
That's
And
right.
this internet is super choppy, so I hope this comes out well. But we have like a little delay between us, anyhow.
I
Um,
know.
so it's okay. But yeah, it'll all be better when we get home. Everything's tired, even the internet.
Even the internet's worn out. I know. Well, thanks for
Yeah.
everyone bearing with us because this was not our cleanest record because, yes, there's a delay between us and I don't have a microphone, but we thought it was important to get in here and give an update. So thanks for hanging with us.
Yeah. All right. We'll have the best call ever tonight, and we'll chat soon.
All right. Sounds good.